Here we go with Chapter 8, Lesson 12 is your last lesson of the week because tomorrow we're going to take a quiz on 12, 11, 10, and 9. So making sure that you really understand volume. But today we're going to talk about comparing length, area, and volume. Okay, so length is the distance of something, area is the how much something covers, and volume is the space inside of something. So today our goal is to actually identify when to just measure a length, measure the area, measure a volume. Okay, so this just tells you when to do what. Okay, so length tells how wide, tall, or long something is. Finding the length requires one measurement. It's one-dimensional. Area tells how much a surface covers, right? Finding an area of a rectangle requires linear measurements. Area is two-dimensional, requires square units. Volume tells you how much space an object occupies, okay? So it's three-dimensional. So you have to ask yourself, in a problem, am I going to use length, area, or volume to determine what I'm going to do? So length is measuring something, area is how much something covers, and then volume is how much space is inside of there, okay? So your homework just asks you questions. Should you use length, volume, or area? Okay, so you have to ask yourself, okay, how much water is in a swimming pool? Are you going to use length, area, or volume? Well, let's think about it. In a swimming pool, it has space, right? So you want to see how big your swimming pool, how much it can hold. So that would be a volume. Okay, not sure you can see that real well. Let me zoom in. Okay, all right, well, that's a volume for number 1. You could see I have my little sheets alongside the left. I pre-read it so I could get it right. Okay, so number 2, how tall are you? Well, is that a length, an area, or volume? Well, it's a distance, so we're going to say length. Okay, how much carpet is needed for a floor? Okay, well, area tells you how much something covers. An area, carpet covers something, so there we would just use area. How far is it from a doorknob to the floor? Well, that's a distance, right? So that's a length. How much sand is in a sandbox? That's putting something in for a space. So that's going to be volume. Okay. How much wallpaper is needed for one wall? So that's covering something. So if you cover something, that's area, right? According to those things up there. How long is a string? Okay, string is a distance, so it's like a length. Well, it is length. Okay, don't make this harder than it is. Like some of you will be like, well, I don't know how long the string is. Well, you don't need to know how long things are. You're just figuring out, am I using length, volume, or area? Okay, how much space is in there inside a fridge? So we're talking about inside of something and it's a space. So that's a volume. Okay, so that's really all you really need to really think about for this lesson. Okay, when do I use length, area, and volume? It tells you right up top here. Okay, and then there's 3 problems on the homework, I think. It's just having you solve. The first 2 word problems, I believe, have to deal with volume, and then I can't remember the last one exactly offhand, but you just have to know how to solve them. So really this lesson is probably, could be one of the easiest because you hardly need any math. Just remember this right here. Length, you use that if you're measuring a distance. Area, if you're covering something like carpeting or wall coverings, okay? And volume is if you're looking for a space inside of something. And that's it. Like seriously, that's it. 4-minute lesson. So go do the homework. Here's the lesson. All done. Seriously. You just got to know when to use length, area, and volume. And then a couple of problems. I really don't have anything else to add besides there's a quiz tomorrow. And you need to know length times width times height equals volume. There'll be a couple of questions like we just went over today, and then probably you're going to have to recognize like cubes inside of stuff. Okay, that's it. Enjoy. Go do your homework, get it done. Easy lesson today. Might be the easiest lesson of all year.